Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Eileen, and for today we're going to be doing an everyday summer makeup look using all drugstore products. So if you want to see how I got the look, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I did my skincare and eyebrows off camera. So all the products that I use will be down in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first step that I actually like to do is to prime my face. And the primer that I've been loving is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer with the 4% Niacinamide. It's this one right over here. So I'm just gonna take some of that, like about a pump and a half, and just apply that all over my face. I like to mainly focus this on the T-zone, but also everywhere else. And you could tell it's very sticky, which means your makeup's gonna stay in place. And then we're just gonna wait like 30 more seconds just so it really grips our makeup. Since it's the summertime, I wanna ensure that the makeup's really gonna stick. So I like to go in also, before I put any makeup on, the e.l.f.'s Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. And I like to spray my face before I put any makeup on. So we're gonna wait for like a couple seconds, and then the method that we're gonna use is actually underpainting. And I've been really loving this technique. I heard it online a while ago, and I've been really loving this during the summer. I've actually gotten a lot of compliments on my makeup just by using this technique, and it's crazy. I find it to be a foolproof method. So if you're into that, or if you're not into that, please try it, because I feel like it makes your makeup look so much more smooth. So the first step that I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna use a cream bronzer. And the cream bronzer that I've been liking is the Soul one. It's the face and body one. So I just like to take this, and I take my e.l.f.'s complexion duo brush, and I use that to actually go over all my face with. So I take some of that on the brush, and then I like to pat it on the back of my hand just so I get like an even application, and then I go right on it. And I like to start off slowly. You can always add more, but taking off, I just don't like to deal with that, especially during the summer. So I will just layer that on slowly. And you could tell it gave really pretty color to my face already. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this hand side. And you could actually go a lot heavier, to be honest, because you are underpainting. I just applied some more actually, because when you're underpainting, it basically gets covered by whatever you end up using on top. So I like to actually go heavier with this method. That's what I like about it. So I'm gonna just put some of that on my forehead. And for my forehead, I like to swipe because I just want some of that pigment on there. I don't want a lot of product. So I'm just taking some of that all over my forehead, the sides. And then I'm gonna take some of that underneath the jawline. And if you haven't done this method, you're gonna be like, this looks crazy. But I promise you, in the end, it's gonna look good. It's just gonna look so much more smoother. That's what I love about this. At first I was like, do cream and then powders, but then after I realized the difference between putting the cream products and then your foundation and then your powders, oh my god, the lasting power and the way it looks, it just speaks for itself. So all right, we got the bronzer on, and I'm just bronzing up the nose. I'm not really contouring. It's the summertime, so we're just making sure the face has color. That's what's important to us. All right, we're done with the bronzer. Now we're gonna go in with blush. And the blush I've been really liking is the Juvia's Place one. So I just like to take some of that on the back of my hand, just like this, right over here. And then I actually like to just just move the product on my hand, just like this, and you could tell that little bit became so much. But I like to take that and then go in with the beauty blender and pick some of that up and then go right on it. I feel like it gives such nice pigmentation, and on top of that, the way it applies, it's so much more even. So I like to do it this way. And if you haven't used this blush, it's really pigmented. So if you're in for a really good blush, I would suggest getting this. So I'm gonna just apply some of that on this side too. There we go. Let's put even more blush, why not? All right, so now that the blush is done, I'm actually gonna go in with concealer. And I'm using the NYX Serum Concealer in the shade Vanilla. And I like to take some of this on the back of my hand and just get my beauty blender, same way, and just go right on it under my eyes. Sometimes it's hard to reach the inner corner, so I'll take the same e.l.f. brush and I'll just blend it with this side. So I applied very little right there, and then I'm just gonna apply some a little bit towards my cheeks, anywhere where you would want to put concealer. I just like to go a little bit towards my cheeks just because I get really red around there, especially during the summertime. So just applying some of that on this side too. All right, I'm gonna apply some of that concealer on my chin as well. A little bit on my nose. Very little on my forehead. Just so we're evened out. And if you have any kind of blemishes, feel free to do that right now, just because if you do that after your foundation, the chances of it not looking as even is gonna be even more. So if I were you, I'd put on the concealer right now and then apply your foundation, just so it's more seamless. Okay, so after we're done with that, one of my favorite products, especially since it's summertime now, is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. So instead of foundation, I just like to use this. And I know it's a fairly new product, but I've been using this every single day whenever I do my makeup. This is just, this has become my base instead of foundation. And if I'm not using this, I am using the Wet n Wild's Tinted Hydrator. So I'm just applying some of that on my chin. Some on my neck, just so it's evened out. And then you're gonna quickly see that whatever we put underneath looks very blended out and gorgeous. I like to blend that down my neck. And you could just see that whatever we put underneath looks pretty flawless. It looks like it's one within the skin. It doesn't look like there's so much on top. And we're gonna also go in with powder as well, like powder bronzer, powder blush, but just the base itself gives this look a much more delicate but yet you know, flawless look. Okay, so now that we got all of those products blended in, then I like to go in with bronzer. So the bronzer that I've been using is actually the Butter Bronzer. It's from Physicians Formula in the shade Deep Bronzer. And I like to take that, get a fluffy brush, tap that excess, and go right on in. You could tap or you could swipe, up to you. And I just like to put the bronzer wherever the sun naturally hits. So I'm just bronzing up the neck right now. And as you can tell, we look really glowy, really fresh. And if you're not into that kind of look, then just go in with more powder, or, you know, instead of the e.l.f. Halo Glow, go in with like a foundation that you love. But I personally love the glow, so this is what I like to do. So I like to actually blend that all the way down to wherever my shirt actually ends. So if you're wearing a tank top, just go a little bit more down and make yourself more bronzy. But for me, my shirt ends right here, so I'm okay with not going further. But as you can see, this is what the skin is looking like right now. I'm still not done, but this is what we have so far. So now I'm gonna go in with blush. And the blush that I like is Milani's Big Blush in the shade Luminoso. So I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and I'm going to use it to put blush on. And because we already look so glowy, my hair is sticking to my face today. Ugh. So because we're looking so glowy today, and this baked blush actually has, it kind of looks really shimmery and glowy as well on the face, we are actually gonna skip out on the highlighter. No highlighter for today. But if you love highlighter, by all means add it. I just feel glowy enough that where I don't need it. So I'm gonna just put that blush right over here as well, just so it looks like we have a natural tan but sunburn going on. All right, and make sure you blend it down to your hairline, especially if you're fair like me. Sometimes I know it's really hard to, sometimes I have a hard time as well, but I'll just take my finger and just kind of swipe, you know, swipe towards it, just so some of that pigment goes towards your hairline and it doesn't look too obvious. And you could go towards your ears as well. All right, blush is done. So now we're gonna go in with powder. So I'm using powder right now, and the powder that I like to use is the Essence My Skin Perfector in the shade Fair. And I like to take some of this and get a powder puff and just apply that underneath my eyes. But I like to do this technique where you get some of that on your powder puff and then you just kind of smear it all over just to get an even amount on this powder puff. So just like this. I know it doesn't look even, that's because I had powder on before. It's not a brand new powder puff, but to me it looks pretty even when I look at it. So I like to do that, so when you're applying your powder, it's not like patchy here and then smooth looking over here. It just goes right on evenly and smoothly, so your skin looks flawless. So before I go in, I'm actually gonna blend out the creases under my eyes. Then right after, I'm gonna go in with the powder. And I like to look up just so I don't get additional creases. And then you could instantly tell the difference. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Then I'm just going down my chin, smile lines. So my deeper smile line is actually on this side, so again, I like to blend it and then go in with whatever powder that's left. And then you could tell that the pores actually look much smaller too, because when you put a bunch of glowy stuff on your face, whether that's skincare or makeup, your pores tend to show more because the light is shining towards it. So for that reason, I like to go in with a bit of extra powder right by my pores. Not only will it protect the makeup from underneath, but it'll make your pores look less visible during this time with glowy products. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna set my face again, just so we bring some of that glow back, because I feel like it went away. I mean, it's still here actually, but I feel like I wanna, you know, add a little bit more. It's summertime, so let's add a little bit more. So next I like to go and do the eyes. So for the eyes, I use the same exact products. I literally used the bronzer and the blush we used, and that's just like my eyeshadow for the day. So I'm just gonna go right on in and show you. Now you could use the cream bronzer that I just used and the cream blush, or just the powders itself. It's gonna give you that similar effect. But what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go in with all four. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you what's supposed to be given. So you could actually do this step when you're putting on your cream bronzer, put it on your eyelids right at that moment. I like to go in specific steps, so I just like to lightly brush it on, like give that a little bit of a base for the bronzer and the blush to sit on. Just taking some of that, like you could tell it's subtle, but it's pretty. So I'm gonna just put some of that here on as well. And honestly, you can go just like this too. There's been times where I have done that, just bronzer in the crease and go, especially for the summertime. I feel like during the summertime, my go-to look is the bronzer on my eyelids. But this time around, we're going in with cream and powder bronzer. So now I'm gonna take the Juvia's Place blush that we used, and I'm gonna add that back to my eyes. And again, this blush is very pigmented, so be a bit light-handed, just so you know, doesn't go crazy on you. And I'm just adding that near my crease, just to give it some color. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the powder bronzer we used, and I'm taking e.l.f.'s crease brush, tapping the butter bronzer and going right on in again. Just gonna take some of that and put it on my eyelids as well. And now we're gonna take the blush and apply that right on into our crease. And you don't have to be really precise, to be honest. This kind of look isn't made to be perfect. That's why I love it so much. It's just a fresh, dewy, glowy kind of look. And that's the kind of look I love for the summer. Or just even quick makeup looks. And now I'm just gonna take this big, well, I should say small, Real Techniques brush and just blend that right on in, just so it's even. I usually use this as my highlighter brush, but I love using it to blend out everything in the end. Now we're just gonna take some of that again underneath our eyes. So since we're done with the eyeshadow look as of right now, besides the inner corners, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take e.l.f.'s Bite Size Eyeshadow Quad. This one being the Cream and Sugar. I'm just gonna take this dark brown right over here with an angled brush, and I'm gonna use that to tightline instead of eyeliner. Personally, I don't like to go all the way in here, especially for the summertime, because sometimes it kind of looks messy. And I mean, by all means, you could go in and do that. It looks gorgeous, but I'm not going to do that today. And I'm actually gonna take that shimmer shade that's in this quad, this one right over here, and I'm gonna apply that to my inner corner. And let me get a flat shader brush. So I'm just gonna take that eyeshadow shimmer shade and apply it right at my inner corners. Guys, if you haven't tried e.l.f.'s eyeshadow Bite Size Quads, you're missing out. I didn't even mean to do it that heavy, and it's that good. Like, the color payoff, amazing. And I literally just kind of swipe, that's it. Like, I don't go in and dig. That's how amazing these eyeshadow quads are. So I'm just kind of taking that right up in here just to brighten the look. That shimmer shade, so gorgeous. So I got that in the inner corners. And now we're just gonna apply mascara. And the mascara that I really like and have been using for, I would say, over 10 years. I'm not even joking. I used this back when I was in high school and maybe a bit earlier than that on Halloween. So it's the L'Oreal Telescopic in Carbon Black. And this is an oldie but a goodie. I don't know, like, I love other mascaras, I really do. But I always go back to this one if I want it to last. Like, if it's an extremely hot day, I don't want any kind of smudging going on underneath my eyes, this is the mascara I go for. I'm not even joking. So I'm just gonna, actually let's curl the eyelashes today. I'm gonna curl my eyelashes because they're looking pretty straight and that's not usual. So let me curl my eyelashes before we actually start. I don't like to curl my eyelashes because they have their natural curl, but as I'm looking at it today, they're kind of like flat. So let me just do a quick curl. I used to be scared of using this because I would always feel like, okay, if I blink and I blink, what if I blink and then, you know, I pull my eyelashes out? You get what I mean? Like, if I do this and then blink, my eyelashes will just come out. So even now, like when I curl them, I don't hold it like some people do. I just do a light squeeze, not even a tight one, like a light one. So Anyways, that's curled enough for me. I'm gonna go in with, where did I put my mascara? Okay, I'm gonna go in with mascara. This is a technique that I actually like to use. I like to brush them first the opposite direction and then pull them right back to where they are, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I do it. This I feel like just gives me more length, so I'm gonna do that right now just to show you. So I literally move them that way. Like literally slanted. And then I'll pull them right back. I feel like that gives your lashes length. That's what I personally like to do. Sometimes I feel like the hairs don't want to cooperate, but we'll make it work nonetheless. Okay, I feel like I need a new one because it's not giving what it usually gives, but this is the difference, just one coat. But let's just use it right now, why not? It's a bad eyelash day for me, but we'll take it. Alright guys, so now we're gonna go in with the lips. So for lips, my favorite lip liner is actually Milani's Color Statement one in the shade All Natural. And it's one of my favorites from the drugstore or just high-end. I don't know what it is, but this always makes my lips look fuller than they really are, because I have pretty thin lips, but this one just makes me feel better, you know what I mean? And if you have a good lip liner, you know exactly what I mean. It makes your look. So I'm gonna go right on in and line my lips, and I do overline, so mainly on my Cupid's bow, not the bottom. So just gonna take that right here. So as you can tell, I'm not really overlining until I get to the Cupid's bow. And I just do this, just so I get it really coated right in there. And then I literally make like a half circle as much as I can because I like that look. So, and then I fill it in. Gives it that kind of pouty look. So then I go in with the lifted gloss from Maybelline in the shade Moon. And this is really hydrating, that's what I love about it. It does have hyaluronic acid, but it's such a pretty color. I mean, look at that. So if you have dry lips and you're like, oh my god, my lips are gonna look crusty, get this one, or whatever shade that you want, but try this one because it is moisturizing. Like when you brush your lips together or even apply it with the applicator, you'll feel the smoothness. Like it's not like every other gloss. And if you've tried it, you know exactly what I mean. If you have not tried it, then you'll understand once you do. So I like to actually take that gloss and put it on my Cupid's bow as well. So when the light hits, it kind of, you know, reflects and looks like an upper lip. So this is what the makeup is looking like. I feel like I want to blend this part a little bit more. And it's a really pretty shimmer shade. I just want it more faded out. I feel like I kind of got more blended out. Okay. Alright guys, so this is what the makeup is looking like right now. This is the final look. If you could tell, my lips look much more bigger than they were a couple minutes ago. So that's what I love about this combination. Here, let me close my mouth so you see. But yeah, this is what the makeup is looking like. Very fresh, very dewy, very skin-like. You could tell I didn't try to cover up a lot of my imperfections. Just because I feel like it's summer, like, you know, just let your skin breathe. I know it looks like we put a lot of products on there, but it really wasn't a lot. It was just the fact that there were thin layers, you know what I mean? So you're going thin, 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 thin. It looks much better than going with a thick layer and then trying to figure it all out from there. So this is the final look. I'm gonna put my hair down and you'll see it. All right guys, so I just put my hair down, as you can see. So this was the final look. This is what the makeup is looking like. And the video clip that you guys saw of me was actually hours into the day, so that's why it looks the way it looks. And that was actually in natural lighting. So right now, to be honest, I have a very small light. That's what's, you know, making the video look the way it is. It's a really small light. So hopefully you guys can see the makeup. That one was in natural light. That's exactly what it looks like. And this is just with a small light. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys loved, you know, watching me do my steps, and hopefully you followed along. And if you didn't, I just hope you enjoyed the video. So if you want me to make any other videos, please let me know. Please comment what you liked, what you didn't like, just any suggestions that you have, any upcoming videos you'd like to see. So I'm all interested in your guys' feedback, so please let me know. And thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is actually my first video, so I'm super excited. So thank you again in advance, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.